One of the ways they tried to make people obey their ideas or sometimes their laws was by publicly shaming people who didn't do that. And they would use photographs or even film to document these rituals, essentially. Public shaming took a variety of forms in Nazi Germany. Probably one of the more famous ones is publicly shaming couples who engaged in what the Nazis called race defilement or Rassenschande. Basically, when one member of the couple was a non-Jewish German and the other one was Jewish, and the Nazis condemned this as, again, race defilement or racial shame, race mixing, and they would basically take people and publicly march them through the center of town, force them to wear a sign that said something like, I am a German girl and I allow myself to be defiled by the Jew, right? Or, something sort of similar along those lines. I'm a race defiler. And it became a public event. This was something that not only were they saying, like, you can't do this or you shouldn't do this, but if you do, if you have this romantic or sexual relationship, then we will publicly humiliate you in front of your entire community. We'll force you to march down the street. We'll take pictures of you, some of which would then be published in anti-Semitic newspapers or magazines, including Der Stürmer, and make an example of you so that other people won't do this. And this is someone's private life, right? This is not public in any way. This is someone's personal romantic relationship that they are being publicly shamed for. And we know that these were especially common before the passage of the Nuremberg race laws. So before it became explicitly illegal in Nazi Germany for people who were considered German-blooded to have sexual relationships or to marry people who were considered non-German, or in this case specifically Jewish people. What's so striking about these public shamings and these acts of public humiliation is that they were locally organized. This was not something that the Nazi Party or that Hitler mandated happen. This was something that happened on a local initiative, right? Somebody decided to do this. Maybe the leader of the SA, maybe a local Nazi Party figure would basically decide, find out about this relationship and decide to do this. It wasn't an official action of the Nazi state. And we see this as well for people who shopped in Jewish-owned businesses, that they could be have photographs published of them, humiliating them. Calling them out, essentially, right, for doing something that the Nazis considered to be taboo at best. During World War II, the Nazis also applied this ban on sexual relationships to Polish foreign workers who were sent to Germany and who were not allowed to have sexual or romantic relationships with German women. And when people were caught for doing this, they also could be publicly shamed. There are multiple photographs of cases where two women who had engaged in this relationship, two German women, are having their heads forcibly shaved in public and forced to carry signs, again, like an act condemning them essentially for these relationships. The Nazis also targeted Jewish people in other ways with public humiliation and public shaming. For instance, during the Nazi annexation of Austria, Nazis forced Jewish people to scrub the streets, often in their finest clothing. It took pictures of this. They would force Jewish people to clean bathrooms or toilets, to clean graffiti or sweep the streets. They would force them to do calisthenics exercises, like gymnastics type of things as well. So sort of things deliberately designed to be publicly humiliating, sometimes but not always documented in photographs and film. And then during World War II, especially with the Nazi invasion of Poland, they deliberately targeted religious-looking Jews, especially Jewish men. They would do things to them like cut off their beards or their side locks. They would force them to wear Jewish prayer shawls and pose in certain ways. Basically, not for any purpose other than to humiliate them. And they took pictures of themselves doing it, and we have many examples of this, right? That they thought that this was funny and also somehow perhaps also useful for propaganda purposes, right? To show what Jewish people in Poland looked like, and then to show what it was that soldiers, policemen, other authorities were doing to them, to humiliate them, to target them for their religious practices.